Hi, gang. It's Kale.
And Patrick.
Coming up on today's episode, in honor of Women's History Month, we share our Fab 5 non-leading Disney ladies. As always, we discuss the latest Disney news, and we close out the show with some quick D. All that and more on today's episode of Gays Do the D.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
Patrick, I hate the way you talk to me and the way you cut your hair. I hate the way you drive my car. I hate it when you stare. I hate your big, dumb combat boots and the way you read my mind. I hate you so much it makes me sick. It even makes me rhyme. I hate the way you're always right. I hate it when you lie. I hate it when you make me laugh. Even worse when you make me cry. I hate it that you're not around and the fact that you didn't call. But mostly I hate the way I don't hate you. Not even close. Not even a little bit. Not even at all. Kazuki!
This for the first time, I have no idea what that's from.
That's 10 Things I Hate About You.
Okay.
Yeah. It's her famous poem in the yes. Okay, do you mind?
Sure. I was just gonna say, Kale, the future is female English.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
So
happy Women's History Month, everybody.
Happy Women's History Month. Yes. We are excited to be here today, this month.
We sure are. Just this month, also.
Just this month.
Okay, I need to know where 10 Things I Hate About You came from. Why did it come into your head?
Okay, so truly at this point, I'm scrambling for stuff because I feel like everything, and then I kid you not, I keep like a list on my notes of like movies that I've done and specific monologues that I've done from them for this podcast, right?
Hilarious.
And last night, fully prepared one, only to realize 30 minutes later that it's one I'd done before. And so I had to dive really, and then I don't think this is on my list, but I'm not going to, I'll ask you privately later because if I haven't already done it, I don't want to ruin it by asking the question if I've done it. But there was one where I was like, this is perfect. And I do this all the time around friends. I need to find out if I've done this on the podcast. But
that's funny.
At this point, we're just running out of material. If anybody has suggestions for a powerful monologue for me to put between Patrick's first and last name, please let me know in my DMs.
We are scraping the bottom of the barrel.
In my Donna Murphys.
And your Donna, put it in my Donna Murphys.
Put it in my Donna Murphys.
That sounds dirty a little bit, but I'm into it.
I know. It's good. How are you, Patrick?
I can see your Donna Murphy. It's showing right now.
Your Donna Murphy is hanging out. Right.
I'm good, Kale. Thank you so much for asking. Man.
Do you remember that one episode of Sex and the City where Trey and Charlotte go to couples counseling and the therapist is like, you have to unsexualize your genitalia. And Charlotte names hers Rebecca. That's what it's like. My Donna Murphy. That's hysterical.
Oh no.
Okay, so really, how are you now that that's out of my system?
What an interesting tangent. I'm good. Thank you for asking again. We're scraping the bottom of March, which is wonderful. I'm very hopeful that the sun is coming out and things are getting better. But yeah. I'm good. I'm trying some new things in my life. You and I have been talking all week that are helping just a little bit, and I think that's all I can ask for right now. Is like every little bit that makes every day a little bit easier is just my goal right now to still like get through the day.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, I understand. It's so it seems like January was sort of a blur, and then February was like you're gonna feel every day of me. Mm-hmm. And then March has sort of been, I feel like there's been 1 week of March where it was sort of a blur, and then the next week was like, oh, by the way, this week is a full year. And then next week is 1 day. And so it's been a little much. I will say we talked about this when around the time seasonal depression truly kicks in for people, and how, it was, you and I were both sort of feeling a little bit of it, and things got a little lighter for a bit. Yeah. And then it seems like there is sort of a headspace that I'm kind of trying to knock myself out of. Do you know what I mean?
I do.
Which is fine. And I feel like I'm doing the correct things. I'm having open conversations with people about it and, reaching out to people who also understand how difficult that is at times. And yeah, it's always good to, take care of yourself and use the tools that you've learned along the way. It's insane to me too sometimes how it's 2024 and people still don't understand that with a chronic mental illness, right? With something like generalized anxiety or depressive disorder, that they still don't understand that a simple task for us is sometimes twice as hard as it is for a person not suffering from it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't mean to laugh, but I mean, like, it's very...
No, it's completely
I'm laughing because it's very true.
No, it totally is.
Ooh, I should eat dinner today, but I'm not into it right now. You know what I mean? Like little things like that.
The truest thing ever. Yeah. Like it's completely true, but all is good. And I'm having open conversations and talking openly with my therapist about it and my psychiatrist, which if there are any psychiatrists listening, psychiatrists sometimes tend to be the worst people.
Oh my gosh.
Just kidding.
Not true.
Not true.
It's tough though. It is a practice for a reason. Like,
it is.
If it were easy, then we'd all be happy all the time. But
completely.
It's just not the case.
I mean, and even when let's be real, when I'm not suffering from depression, am I truly happy all the time?
Well, no one's happy around you. That's for sure. Yeah.
I'm either suffering from depression or I am the Great Depression. I am the boom boom depression.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I like it. I frankly like it when you're a little bit more depressed because you're less mean to me. So I feel like this is a good space for both of us.
Good. Makes me happy.
Thank you for being open about it too, though, guys. Just like conversations goes a long way, and sometimes for those listening at home, it's helpful to just hear that a lot of people go through it, and not everybody.
Oh,
but
for
a lot
sure.
Of people.
and one thing, if there's anything, which I know that there's still like a lot of uncertainty around, because we still don't really know the long-term mental effects of the pandemic, right? Like we still really don't know how that affects humanity's health going forward. And so I think that it's really, really great that a lot of that conversation has opened up. If there's one plus from that whole entire thing, I would say that it's truly the openness of mental health discussions. Do you know what I mean? And then it also doesn't help that like it's also a fairly fierce political climate, has been for about 8 years.
Yeah,
and
sure.
So it's right. It's a lot of things on top of each other. And I think anybody, that sort of, has to pretty much wake up every morning and maintain a healthy mental space, it becomes exhausting,
It does.
and sometimes you just feel worn out from it. But
100%.
Yes.
Well, yeah, and Tweedles at home, keep the conversation going. If you need to reach out, we are always here for you at Gays Do the D.
We absolutely are.
Well, moving on, Kale, something to celebrate coming up at the end of March is on March 31st, Transgender Day of Visibility. Something we should all be recognizing all the time, but specifically on March 31st, the day is dedicated to transgender visibility. So for those who don't know, each year on March 31st, the world observes Transgender Day of Visibility to raise awareness about transgender people. It's a day to celebrate the lives and contributions of trans people while also drawing attention to the poverty, discrimination, and violence the community does unfortunately face at higher rates than the rest of the population. So not only do we need to celebrate those who are out and visible in the community, we also need to remember and celebrate those who are unable to be visible due to safety concerns.
Absolutely.
So it's not a day to out anyone who may be transgender that you know of. It's just a day to celebrate everybody who is a transgender American or across the seas, wherever you are. We see you and we celebrate you.
Absolutely. We sure do.
So just an interesting fact I pulled out that I feel like we should talk about just for a brief second as we talk about transgender visibility and awareness when it comes to age groups, actually. So according to Gallup research polls, only about 30% of the general American population says that they personally know a trans person. However, that percentage drastically varies when segmented by age. So if you take it apart, 19% of Americans over the age of 65 claim to know someone who is trans, where half of Americans under the age of 30 either have a transgender friend or family member that they are close to. Isn't that incredible, those statistics?
Gen Z is going to save us. I really hope so. Hopeful, and I am serious. Gen Z is going to save us.
Yeah. I really hope so. It's leaning that way. So, well done, youth of America.
Yes, well done, children.
We celebrate all of you. Oh boy. So
we also sound so old.
We are. Just to be clear.
Right.
I am anyways. You're still an infant, but that's not your fault.
Thank you so much.
It's not your fault.
Thank you.
I still appreciate you.
Aww.
So kind of speaking of transgender day availability, have you been watching the new X-Men 97?
I have absolutely not.
That doesn't surprise me because you're not a huge Marvel or superhero fan.
Mm-mm.
But X-Men 97 is the gayest thing that's ever happened in the entire world, and I feel like you should start watching it because it's incredible.
Listen, just based off of some of the stuff that I've read from people who have watched it on Instagram and stuff, I actually do think it's worth me giving it a shot because people seem to be in love with it.
It's wild. It is wild. I'm obsessed with it. Yeah. Well, there are at least I don't think so, any out transgender people on the show yet. I have a feeling that there will be soon. They are just leaning in on the whole LGBTQ aspect of the X-Men. It's incredible.
Yes. Good.
I implore all of our Tweedles out there to let us know if you're watching X-Men 97 what you think of it too. I'm personally obsessed with it.
Yes, let us know. Tell me all the things I should be enjoying about it.
Gambit is all the things that you should enjoy about it. I am very attracted to Gambit in the show.
Nice. Do you know what I'm attracted to?
What's that?
People who celebrate.
I'm attracted to all of our Tweedles.
Yeah. Was that a good segue?
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
Do you want me to get us started into I'm celebrating?
I wish you would.
Okay. Here we go. At that sugar guy, my friend Peter is celebrating Aries season.
Come on, Aries. I know nothing about Aries.
I honestly, what are you?
Me? I am a Sagittarius.
Oh, I'm a Libra. People say that's written all over my face.
I don't know enough about signs. I only know about mine, which maybe is very telling that I'm a Sagittarius.
Yeah,
I'm a little bit into myself.
I don't really believe in the whole thing too much. I think it's fun. Do you know what I mean? But for the most part, there are things about each sign that I think that's me. When was I born? And then, do you know what I mean?
When was I born?
But we are also celebrating Aries season with you, that sugar guy.
We sure are. Moving on, we have at ADV Parker celebrating booking my first ever trip to California, including some days at Disneyland. Very fun. Tell us all about it when you get back or while you're there.
Send us pictures. Yes, I say this all the time and you guys never do, but send us pictures.
Very rarely do we get pictures from our Tweedles. Keep them coming. We will post them unless you don't want us to.
Yes. At Steve Achu, going Achu from Achu, fun employment Achu, to having Achu, 3 Achu, survival Achu, jobs Achu, at once Achu.
Oh boy. Okay. And for those at home, going from fun employment to having 3 survival jobs at once is what Kale said in English without the Achu. I'm obsessed with fun employment.
Yes, right?
Although I don't, if you're listening, bosses out there, I don't want to be fun-employed.
Same. I don't want to be fun-employed at all.
I'm not going to put that into the world at you. Moving on, we have at Danko Direct celebrating traveling to NYC with students so they can sing in a national choir at Carnegie Hall.
So exciting. I know. I saw him story a little bit of this yesterday, and I am super stoked as a fellow Carnegie Halligan.
That's right.
Congratulations.
Also, I hope that you're surviving it. I know teaching is a blessing, but that's a lot of work. Going on trips with students is a lot of work.
And not only that, but New York, my sister Holly, that you know, has never been to New York, and I always want to take her. But when I think about her in Times Square, I'm like, oh no. Do you know what I mean? So you taking kids, you taking kids, kudos.
Yeah, for sure. People who you wouldn't necessarily think have anxiety have it in New York.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. I mean, my sister will sometimes get into fights at Disney World. So I'm like, Times Square. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
she and I got
Times
into a
Square.
big fist fight last time I saw her there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you used to be way taller, and she pounded you into the pavement a little bit. Yeah.
Yep. That's true.
At Joe Beth Ann, spring break is here. Well, so yes, kudos to spring break. However, didn't Minneapolis get a bunch of snow overnight on Thursday? Is that what happened?
We did. It all melted already, but I think we're in for some more this weekend. It sounds like, which we need.
Boy.
Like, there's been no moisture in the air at all.
Yeah,
in Minnesota,
has it been kind of dry?
Very, very dry, and I'm nervous that we're not going to have any plants this year because there's.
Are you a plant person? We've never talked about this.
I just mean in general.
Are you a person who cares about plants?
Of course, I care about. I'm not a gardener by any stretch of the imagination, but. I just mean in general, like grass isn't going to come up or something.
I think, here's the thing. I don't like plants in the house. I think gardens are fierce, truly.
Oh my gosh, if you're a gardener, they're
I could
amazing.
not do it, but yeah,
No.
but I think gardens are fierce. I would want a secret garden style garden, like a maze, little doors that lock,
Yes.
birds that know me by name.
You'd have to hire a staff to keep that up, though. I don't trust you. At Dwayne Brooks, celebrating finishing back-to-back half marathons this past weekend and checking off states 14 and 15. Questions, 14 and 15 as in they're on your list, or the 14th state to be inaugurated and the 15th state, and if so, which states are those? I have many questions about what these states are.
Same. Yes, let us know, Dwayne.
But congratulations, that's a very big feat.
At Irving Virgin, celebrating a new job.
Ooh, congratulations.
Yes, congratulations. I also need to say that Irving and the next I'm celebrating participant are very, very loyal attendees of our monthly happy hours, which I don't see a lot of you at, but you have no problem asking us to read your Instagram handle on the podcast each week. Just saying.
Not all of these tweetles
Feels
are part of the
one-sided,
Patreon.
but they should be.
But they should be. That's fair. It's fair. We do have fun at those. So if you're looking for
It
a
is a
fun party,
blast.
please join us for those. Moving on, as you mentioned. Oh, by the way, congratulations, Irving. That is
Congratulations, Irving. Sorry,
huge thing
I
to
went
celebrate.
off.
Yeah. Kale doesn't actually care about the celebration. She just wants to turn them into something about him. Moving on, we have, speaking of making it about yourself, we have Adib Donde celebrating me. He's celebrating Patrick's posts about gratitude. They are great reminders to find reasons to be grateful. I'm so glad you feel that way.
That is very true, though. I know I don't ever tell you that, but they actually are enjoyable. Seriously.
Thank you.
I'm going to start doing the opposite. This made me angry today.
See, that's what I felt like my Instagram was turning into. And that's why.
So then yeah.
At the beginning of the year, I was like, I need to turn this ship around.
Right.
It's true. It's been very helpful, though. But I'm glad that you get something out of it. Hibdonda, that was the whole reason behind it. So thank you so much. And thank you, everybody, for celebrating with us.
Yes. This is my favorite segment. I'm celebrating is my favorite segment. Keep celebrating.
It's the best.
Do we want to get into a little listener feedback?
Of course we do.
Absolutely. Let's do it. So, in response to the new Inside Out 2 characters, at Jedi Trousers, our dear friend Juan has said, just pondering how the two plus-size characters are now sadness and embarrassment.
Girl. As soon as I saw that post, I was like, you're not wrong. I can't unsee it now. I can't unsee it now.
Yeah. Part of me truly wants to write it off as a sort of oversight, right? That be a little more conscious, Disney.
I know. Like on one side, I'm like, great, we're seeing representation of plus size characters, absolutely. But it's like, did they have to be those specific emotions?
Right. Did it? Yeah. Well, and it's truly it's the emotions that are probably arguably the most uncomfortable, right?
Sure.
And so it's a little bit, come on. Come on.
It's definitely an oopsie.
Yes.
Definitely an oopsie.
It'll definitely be interesting to see in the movie. Maybe that is somehow redeemed. Do you know what I mean?
I do indeed. And at Meganmo.
I think it's Meganmo, but I think we should say Meganmo.
I like Meganmo.
Amazing.
It's Meganmo for now on. Also chimed in about Inside Out 2, saying my anxiety got more anxiety when I saw there were even more emotions than anxiety.
Yes.
Same.
Very much so. Yes.
You haven't chimed in on this. What are your feelings on it?
So as far as when the first trailer dropped,
Yeah.
and they sort of introduced anxiety, I was because Inside Out is my like go-to Pixar. Like that's my favorite.
Sure.
And I mean, I was super stoked with the introduction of anxiety, mainly because it seemed like they didn't create this character that was just like a nervous wreck and like chewing their nails and like it was this character who was obviously there and sort of like very excited to be there, because anxiety does manifest very differently. It doesn't necessarily mean someone is just a nervous wreck all the time, right?
Yeah.
And so I actually thought that was a great idea. It seemed sort of progressive and like, yes, let's go. I'm in this. I will not lie. I don't like the fact, I mean, the character design of embarrassment, it does seem a little bit, I don't know what I'm trying to say. It almost seems like I get the correlation being made, right? Is that this character should be embarrassed, but I don't know if I definitely don't like that if that is the case, but hopefully that is not the case, right? But I actually, as far as the emotions, let's put character design aside, right?
Right.
As far as the emotions that are being introduced, I think it's perfect for specifically consider. I mean, the plot of this movie is supposed to essentially be Riley sort of moving on into puberty, right?
Right.
She's becoming sort of a young woman, or a teenager rather. But yeah, I mean, I think that the choice for the emotions is perfect. Hopefully once the movie is here, the designs will sort of make sense and maybe not seem so a little bit pointed, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Kale, are you ready for your favorite all-time moment on the podcast that is This Week in Disney History?
I sure am. Is it going to be a quiz? Am I getting quizzed?
Always.
Okay.
Okay. 5 years ago, Kale, on March 25th, 2019, this actress was presented with the 2,658th star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. She was the very first voice of a Disney princess to receive a star on the Walk of Fame. Do you know who she is yet?
People are going to hate me.
Why? I mean, they already do, but why this time?
Because I feel like I should absolutely know this, but
you're going to be mad at yourself, I promise you, when you find out who it is. Do you want more clues now?
Yes, give me a clue.
So she portrayed this princess, of course, in the movie, and then also in a 6-minute short, and then also in a Disney Channel TV series.
Mandy Moore.
Let
me tell you something. Okay. I am obsessed with Mandy Moore. I know we've talked about this before,
yes.
But I one day am going to do a full, a full replica cover of Candy and upload it to iTunes, and that's how I retire.
Perfect.
I'm serious. I love Mandy Moore.
I'm into it. I do too. And a fun fact. So since she was inducted into the Hollywood Walk of Fame, both Idina Menzel and Kristen Bell both now have stars who are also Disney princesses.
Nice.
Very nice indeed. All right, moving on. 55 years ago, Kale, on March 27th, 1969.
Your birthday.
It's right, my birthday. This Aries season, this singer was born in Huntington, New York. Do you know? I'm just kidding. Do you know what it is yet? What if?
What if that was literally the question?
That's all I have for you.
Yeah. Oh boy. I've never even heard of Huntington, New York, to be honest.
Fair. I'll give you a little bit more then. I'll give you a little bit more. For Disney, she contributed the song Almost Home to the 2013 Disney film Oz the Great and Powerful. Do you know yet who this person is?
Almost Home. 55 years ago? Born in Huntington, New York.
Okay, I'm going to give you another clue because you don't know who it is yet. She guest starred in an episode of the Disney animated series The Proud Family. Nothing yet. It's okay. These are not easy clues. So also in 2012, she helped christen the Disney Fantasy in New York City, and the only Disney diva who can live up to her reputation is Clarabelle Cow in the Disney Parks Holiday Stage Show, singing one of her songs. Do you know who this is yet?
Yes, it's Mariah Carey.
It is Mariah Carey.
Yeah. Let me tell you, with
I
both
love that
of those...
Clarabelle Cow was the only thing that got
I know,
you to Mariah
but
Carey.
listen, I get at this point because I've made such a mockery of this. This is why it's difficult to be me, because I've made such a mockery of this segment that now, like I like Mandy Moore was the name I wanted to say, and I was like, but if it's wrong, the children are gonna read me. And then it was the same with Mariah Carey, and so next time I just need to trust my gut.
Yes. Yes, you should be the only one who trusts you. That's for sure. Absolutely sure. Thus concludes This Week in Disney History. Kale, are you ready to get out of this and get into the news?
News, talking about news.
That was preemptive because you're probably going to sing it again once we get into the news.
News. News, talking about news.
There it is.
Are you ready?
I'm so ready.
Are you sitting down?
Yes.
So we've reported on this a little bit. We have a little bit more information than we did last time. So
Sure.
I will dive into this really quick.
Okay.
Disney provides new update on its $60 billion park and experiences spending plan. That's the part we have talked about. They've been
Yes.
talking about this for a long time, but now
Yes.
it's time for a breakdown.
That's right. And they've given us some of the numbers too, but
Yes.
not specific. Yeah.
Not all of them. Yeah, the math isn't mathing all the way. But approximately 70% of the $60 billion is earmarked for capacity expanding investments, with 20% going to the Disney Cruise Line and 50% to be spent at parks and resorts. The remaining 30% is destined for tech and maintenance, which is probably all towards Ariel's Under the Sea adventure. Hopefully.
30% of my paycheck
Yes,
also goes to
right.
tech and maintenance.
Right. Same. Further, Disney says investments will focus on accelerating storytelling by utilizing a wealth of intellectual property and untapped stories, expanding footprint with over 1,000 acres of available development across 6 existing resorts in North America, Europe, and Asia, investing in innovative technology to improve the guest experience, and reaching fans around the world. And speaking at February's Q1 2024 earnings call, Disney CEO Bob Iger said, "As I've said before, we also have so many untapped stories just waiting to be brought to life in the parks across the globe as we continue to invest in this extraordinary business."
Indeed. Yeah, they are really dragging the story out for weeks and weeks and weeks.
Listen, and every time that they make an announcement, it somehow is more vague.
Yeah.
Like even with the numbers dropping, it's like it's more vague.
Right. Yeah. It's like when that person in all of our lives is like, I have some news about you. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'm not going to share it with you, but I have something on you. It's like, just
Yes.
say it. Just say it. Just
I
tell
heard
us what it
something. I
is.
heard something about you, and I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it's about you specifically and something you did or were a part of.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can tell you that 50% of it is about. Yeah.
It's very, very true. I have a feeling, though, that they're just really dangling this carrot until we get to D23, and then it's going to be just a waterfall of announcements at the September D23 this year.
Absolutely. I'm interested in what they think and what they think capacity expanding investments are. I mean, that just means that the park in general would have to be expanded, yes? Because capacity is something that's like per square footage.
Correct. Yeah, he did tease like 2 weeks ago in our news segment that they, I can't remember the exact figures, but he alluded to this. There's a vast amount of land in each of the parks around the world that they haven't even started using yet, which shocked me that they have this much land. So it sounds like they are indeed going to start expanding some of the parks at least, but we just don't know exactly which ones or exactly where or when even that these expansions are going to happen. But it's exciting nonetheless.
It is exciting, for sure.
For sure. All right. Well, speaking of D23, Kale, the 2024 list of Disney legends has just been released. And once again, we have been snubbed. We are not on the list.
We are not on the list.
Soon. Any day now. However, this is going to be a really good year for anyone attending this year's D23 Disney Legend ceremony. So
It totally
many
is.
big
My
legends.
gosh.
Yeah. I
Yes.
thought last time was great. This is going to be incredible. I'm jealous.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to be there. So The list of honorees includes Colleen Atwood for costume design. Colleen Atwood is responsible for the costumes in the new live-action Little Mermaid, which were incredible. Lady and the Tramp, Dumbo, Alice the Looking Glass, and Alice in Wonderland. So there's definitely an aesthetic there that is just really amazing. Yeah, really amazing. So well done. Angela Bassett for film and television. I don't need to give you her credits because she's Angela Bassett.
I would say Angela Bassett for being Angela Bassett.
I mean,
come on.
I know.
You are a GDTD legend.
I was surprised she wasn't already one, but
I have to agree.
Man alive. Yeah. This next one, many people may not know who she is, but should know who she is. I'm talking about Martha Blanding. Ms. Blanding became Disneyland's first Black full-time tour guide in 1971. What an accomplishment. She also worked for Disney for over 50 years, and during her service, she co-founded Pulse, which is a resource for Black Disneyland cast members. So incredible work.
Amazing.
Incredible service. Well done. James L. Brooks was inducted for television. James Cameron for film. Jamie Lee Curtis. Come on. Jamie Lee Curtis for film.
How was she? I really don't understand that one.
I know. I know.
Like, come on.
It's crazy. Miley Cyrus is inducted this year for TV and music. Steve Ditko for publishing. Now, this is a posthumous award given to Steve Ditko. He was the creator of both Spider-Man and Doctor Strange for Marvel Comics. Very cool. Harrison Ford is inducted this year. How is he not already in there?
I know. Insane.
Crazy. Moving on, we have Mark Henn for animation. Mark Henn was the lead animator for Ariel, Belle, Jasmine, Simba, Mulan, Tiana. The list goes on and on and on. Frank Oz, I can't believe he's not already won for film and television. Frank Oz performed Miss Piggy, Fozzie Bear, Animal, Sam Eagle, and Yoda, of course. Kelly Ripa is being inducted for television. Sure, why not? You've got to have some filler queens, you know.
You do.
Joe Rohde is inducted for Imagineering. How is he not already?
I know. That's
Disney legend is beyond me.
Come on.
And then, of course, John Williams. John Williams is going to be there. Will be inducted for music. Who, of course, wrote any score you can think of. He probably wrote it for a movie, but specifically Star Wars and Indiana Jones are the two greatest scores that he did for Disney. Incredible. Strangely, however, the host is Ryan Seacrest for
they said none for Gretchen Wieners. Bye. Yeah.
Great. Well done, Ryan Seacrest. Well done. Apparently he was available. So, tickets to the D23 Ultimate Fan event do go on sale this March 26th for D23 Gold members and then on March 27th for the general public. It looks like this year, however, ticketing and events are going to be done just a little bit differently, and we talked about it a couple of weeks back when they introduced some of this. But the D23 Ultimate Preferred Fan Pass basically will get you access to anything your heart desires at D23, including, now if I'm reading it correctly, including guaranteed seating to the Disney Entertainment Showcases, the Disney Experiences Showcase, and the Disney Legends Ceremony with preferred seating. These tickets are limited, of course, and they do start at $999, which is kind of wild if you think about the next tier down is $297. That's quite a price gap for the Ultimate Fan Pass, which I said starts at $297 and includes, I believe, again, if I'm reading this correctly, it includes everything listed above except for you don't get preferred seating, which I don't know. I mean, a $600 difference in that ticket seems wild to me.
But you've been to this before, yes?
I have been, yeah.
And what difference would you say preferred seating would have made for the experience?
I mean, it depends. Like if you get
I'm
there
asking
very
truly,
early
honestly,
and you're sitting.
Yeah.
No, I for sure. If you get there early enough, like you can sit like a row behind the preferred seating for the same price. You know what I mean? Like it's good sitting, and maybe they get some extras. I don't really know. Like maybe they get some stuff like look under your seat, you get a car, and you get a car. Who knows? I don't really know the ins and outs, but $600 seems like a wild
pretty
difference.
Wild. Yeah.
But you know what? If you have the money, great. Good on you.
Good on you.
And then moving down to the D23, the regular fan pass, basically, which will be $209 for gold members and $259 for the general public, which gets you access to all 3 days at the event, but doesn't guarantee any of the premiere showcases. You would likely have to enter a lottery to go to those shows. And I think that they diversify it so you generally only get one of the premiere showcases.
Okay. Yeah.
So makes sense. But again, like that's not much of a difference between 209 and 297 for the guarantee of all three or the option of one of the three. I don't understand the pricing structure this year, but
yeah.
I'm sure the mathed somehow. I just don't know how they did.
You know, California. Patrick,
Kale.
Today we are celebrating our Disney sisters.
We sure are, but not the main ones.
Trouble, I will always help her out. If my sister's in trouble, I will turn the world around. I will fight for
a real
her
sister
right.
act here on the episode.
I love that you know what that's from.
Listen, I know things.
Do you know me and the boys listen to that song all the time?
Do you really?
All the time. I know that's
feel like
the
it's
weirdest
the least
song.
known. Yeah,
It is, but it is such a bop.
it's good.
It's so good.
It's true. It's very, very true.
Yes, today we are
Yes.
celebrating our Fab 5 non-leading Disney ladies.
It's true. I don't remember how we landed on it being specifically non-leading ladies, but
I don't either. Yeah, we had a long conversation about this. First of all, you and I love doing a Fab 5 together. This is probably my favorite podcast theme that we do when we record together. But I think this was actually your brainchild. We definitely wanted to celebrate Women's History Month, but
Yes.
I think this was sort of your idea, and I absolutely loved it.
well, I think there's so many wonderful, obviously not enough, but there are so many wonderful female characters in the Disney canon who aren't leading ladies
Yes.
that like color so many of these
Yes.
movies that are so fantastic that don't often get the accolades that they are due. So maybe that's sort of what we were going for on this one, but
No,
yeah.
I will completely agree. Yes, totally.
Absolutely. I'm excited about this.
And we also last night had a conversation about like what constitutes a non-leading
I know.
lady. And so bear with us. There might be some discrepancies here, but
Yeah.
it's our show, darn it.
It's our show for sure. In my
Right.
head, like the way I play the game is that these characters are not necessarily like the hero or the main villain.
That
of
is
each of these
exactly
movies.
that was exactly the rule that I set for myself too.
Okay,
not
great.
the main antagonist and not the main protagonist, but could be an accessory to either or.
Right. For instance, Ariel is clearly the lead character of The
Right.
Little Mermaid, but Ursula is also a lead character in my head.
Right. The leading antagonist. And so
Exactly.
they did not qualify.
They didn't qualify. So sorry. You've already had your due.
So are yours in any particular order?
I tried to. I feel like
Same.
Yeah.
Same. I'm actually comfortable if I stuck with the order that I have. The only one that I'm truly sold on is my number one is absolutely my number one.
Oh, good.
But we
Okay.
can, yes. Okay. I really think ours are going to cross over a lot.
I have a feeling, but you never know.
Yeah,
We
right.
actually have a pretty good track record of maybe once or twice an episode, but that's about it.
Right. Yes. Okay. Do you want to kick us off with your
You tell
with
me.
your
You tell me.
first? No, I want to.
Okay, great.
Okay, so my number 5 non-leading Disney lady
Yes.
is Nani from Lilo and Stitch.
Ooh, such a good choice. Such a good
Yes, just a true caretaker, hard worker, does what she can for her Ohana. And then there's a tiny honorable mention here because I think the lifeguard in Lilo and Stitch, I've created a love story between her and Nani in my head.
Oh.
And yes, and she deserves an honorable mention. She is also a very fierce, she's not even non-leading. She has like a line, I think, but Nani is a very, very good one. I was confident in that choice.
100%. I'm actually surprised that she is that low on your list because you must have some because that's a strong character. I feel like in a Disney
is about to take the cake. Okay.
Fair. That's a great one. Coming out.
Thank you.
Just coming out of the gate strong. I like it.
Yes.
All right. Are you ready for my number 5?
I am.
This was hard to put this character at number 5 because I actually identify with this character a lot. And I'm talking about Violet from The Incredibles is in my number 5 spot.
Very, very good. Okay, tell me why you identify, though.
Thank you so much.
Give me the...
I feel like Violet is... this is kind of how I was... still am a little bit like, the sort of shy character who isn't super confident in her own skills and abilities, has them in spades. Like you arguably maybe one of the strongest of the Incredibles, I would say, but doesn't have the confidence to really be that really strong character until she goes through her evolution throughout the franchise. She has a great hair story as well, which I'm into.
She has a great hair story.
Her look is so good. I love Violet so much. She's got really great one-liners, like under her breath sort of one-liners, and her relationship with her brother is so great. I just love Violet so much. Such a good, well-written female character for Disney.
Nice. Very good. We started off with we did good.
I love there were so many characters. This was a really hard one to do, actually.
This was. I will say that I have a bunch of honorable mentions just because it was like
absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. My number 4 is Chicha from The Emperor's New Groove.
Ooh.
Disney's first animated expecting mother.
Is that a fact, really?
That's a fact. I think I had kind of knew that, but then when you and I, for my very first episode before I was actually a permanent co-host, that was one of the facts that we figured out, that she was the first animated expecting mother in a Disney film. And still manages to just take care of her family with everything that she can. She locked Eartha Kitt in a closet. I mean, come on.
She did. Great non-leading lady, because she wasn't in the movie a ton, but when she was a definite presence in, like, she was like, I'm actually the leader of this family.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You knew who wore the pants, even though she's not wearing pants. Do you know what I mean? But also, voiced by the incredible Wendy Malick,
so good.
Who's right? Come on, it was win-win. Yeah,
has she done anything else for Disney? I don't even know. I feel like she has to have. But
well, here's the thing. I think that might have been a conversation that you and I had too, because she has such an incredible voice. I love her, and when she did Hot in Cleveland, and she's been in some other things. I've always thought that she has it's a very unique comedic sense that she has, right?
Yes.
And I've always been a fan of Wendy Malick. I would love for her to truly transition into like a major voiceover career. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, she's got a really interesting. Yeah, she's so striking as well.
So striking. Yes, I completely agree. And it's funny how, to me, that character looks nothing like Wendy Malick, but it 1000% looks like what that character would sound like, or sounds like. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like it's very, very fitting.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking her up right now, and she did some voice work for Kim Possible and also Brother Bear 2 for Disney.
Oh,
so she has done some stuff.
I don't think I've ever seen Brother Bear, the first one.
We can have a conversation about that later for sure, because it's not my favorite.
Yeah, you've said this before. You've said this. Yeah, that's consistent.
Yeah. Some people love it wildly, so I am hesitant to give my full opinion on Brother Bear. Maybe it needs a rewatch.
For sure. That can be a take 2.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Great. Number 4. My number 4 is I have a bonus character in here because these two are inseparable in my number 4 slot, and I'm talking about the Tremaine sisters.
Okay. Listen, they were on my list and then off my list, and then yes, they they were.
Fair enough. I mean, they're the perfect buddy comedy duo in this movie.
I completely agree.
Their fashions are so fun to watch. The meme-worthy looks that they're giving, the camera angles that they get, it's so, so good. And I feel like up until Cinderella and the Tremaine sisters, we never really saw female characters as comic relief in a Disney movie.
Truth, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And they were absolutely there for some comic relief and some tension in the movie as well. But we haven't seen it on that level, in my opinion. But just the slapstick buffoonery that they go through is golden. It's golden.
I completely agree. And I also have to say, I love the live action Cinderella as well, right? And I really loved how the characters of Anastasia and Drizella, they were really true to the animated versions. Like, they did a great job. We've also said this before. If I was ever going to play a female character in a Disney park, I would love to be one of the Tremaine sisters.
So fun. So much
and
fun.
I've never gotten to really interact with, I've never had I've never gotten to. I don't even think I've ever really even seen them out and about, but it's always
they're in Disneyland a lot more often than they are in Disney World, but yeah.
I love the Tremaine sisters.
Love them. I did. To your point about how they were portrayed in the live action Cinderella, I loved that as well. That they stayed true to those two characters as bickering and not super nice. I don't like when you get versions where like one of them's a sweetheart and one of them's not, or whatever. It's like, I don't like that. I want them to just be silly and mean
I completely agree, and you're right. In most like iterations of Cinderella, specifically like more modern ones like Ever After, which is a great film, by the way. Ever After is an amazing film, but there is like one of the sisters who is sort of friends with the Cinderella character, and I agree. I like it when they're both just awful.
Me too. Me too. So the Tremaine sisters is my number 4 spot. The
Tremaine sisters. Okay. My number 3 spot is Edna Mode.
Oh, so good. So good. We both have Incredibles in our storyline.
We do. Yes. And I can't believe that we haven't had crossover yet. I'm actually really excited about this.
But like you said, like these like I was like, she was on my list and then she was off my list and then she was on my list. Yeah.
Edna Mode is an icon.
Oh my gosh.
Is fashion. Yes. She's work. She's boots. The house down.
Yes, she's many catchphrases and T-shirts.
She, my gosh, everything, and barely in the film, mind you, barely in the film, and still manages to make a crazy impact. Yes, 100%.
It. Here's my wish. I wish that Edna Mode was a face character in the parks. I wish that she could talk to you because. I think it's worthy of that, the character.
I completely agree. Well, and I know that they're capable of doing it because there was a clip a couple years back for I think it was a Pixar night or maybe an Incredibles night on a Disney cruise line, and they had a face character Edna Mode.
Sure. Okay.
And it was hysterical. It was absolutely. I mean, this was not something that I experienced live. I saw video footage of this, but But I would absolutely love that.
I mean,
and she's one of those that is universally loved. Everybody loves Edna Mode.
Yes.
So,
imagine at D23, you haven't been yet, but I think you know about it. Every year they do a masquerade party where it's like a costume contest, basically, for the fans. Imagine if Edna Mode was the judge.
Judge. Oh,
can you even?
Amazing.
Yeah. So many ideas. Edna Mode, great choice. Well done.
Yes, that would be phenomenal.
All right, so my number 3 is exactly the opposite, I feel like, of Edna Mode.
Okay.
And it is Jessica Rabbit from Who Framed Roger Rabbit is number 3. I mean, such an icon. I mean,
I'm humiliated that she was not even on my radar. I'm actually embarrassed right now that she was not even remotely on my radar.
She could not be. She is such a force in that movie. Just an incredible character.
Yes.
The perfect femme fatale for a Disney cartoon, though. They just did such a great balance. She's serving sexuality. She's serving power. She's saving Roger Rabbit at every turn of the movie. She's clearly the brains in the relationship, even though she's drawn, the famous quote, "I'm not bad, I'm just drawn that way." What an iconic, one of the best lines, I feel like, in any movie ever. My
favorite Jessica Rabbit quote is, "I hit him on the head and put him in the trunk so he wouldn't get hurt."
Yes, she's just she's so just says what's on her mind and does not care, and everything is almost a pun, but it's not really a pun.
Right.
Like it's just
Yes.
she's so good. She does whatever she wants to in the movie. She does what she needs to stay alive, really, and she has
Yes.
no F's to give. She's just great. She's
and
wonderful.
voiced by the incredible Kathleen Turner.
Kathleen Turner. It's
Right.
such
I know.
such a great role. It's just an
is.
iconic role. It's so good.
I know.
It's so I love when drag queens do Jessica Rabbit. Some try and don't do it very
yes.
well, but when it's done correctly, it's like perfection. She was meant to be a drag queen, I feel
Absolutely.
like. So good. Jessica Rabbit needs her own movie.
She does. I swear I would watch it.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine if there was like an I Love Lucy, but it was Jessica Rabbit and Roger Rabbit kind of a TV show?
Oh my gosh. I for some reason was thinking like Jessica Rabbit prequel, like her in school
Sure.
not being able to fit into a desk because of her body. And then that's when it all started. Yes.
Yeah. And I also love that she was like so curvy as well. Like she, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like the sexuality of her was a voluptuous, big, beautiful woman. Just perfection.
I completely agree. Love Jessica Rabbit.
Same.
My next one is the opposite of Jessica Rabbit.
Great.
But mine is Lottie or Charlotte from Princess and the Frog.
She was definitely on my list as well.
Was she?
Definitely. Yeah.
Good.
Such a good character.
Such a good character, and I like the fact that it's sort of it's not, I wouldn't say necessarily it's like feminist energy, but it definitely is that sisterhood energy. You know,
Sure.
she definitely is a little vain. She definitely is materialistic, you know, sort of these qualities that maybe not the most noble, but at the end of the day, her sisterhood and friendship with Tiana is really like her big redeemable factor. Do you know what I mean? And she also just has incredible one-liners and it's
Incredible.
and ridiculous outfits, like ridiculous, come on. But I always have really taken a liking to Lottie and thought that she was
such a funny character. Yeah, definitely like the definition of like white privilege in a character.
1,000,000,000%.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. and I don't think that I think that was probably something very intentional, that the first
100%,
Disney princess of color, right? The first Black Disney princess, right? The person closest to her was someone who very much benefited from white privilege, right? And I think that was intentionally done for a contrast, and you know, it doesn't necessarily mean that she had to be a mean or horrid character, but it was just a fact. Do you know what I mean? It
Absolutely.
was, yeah.
Yeah, man, you could really dissect that movie so much deeper and further in like the relationships between all of the characters. Yeah, for
completely. But she always makes me laugh.
Yeah, I mean, she was just a character who was like sort of on equal. I don't know how to say this. Like the other side of Tiana, in that like everything she did because of her heart. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So she always led with like her heart, whether or not it was the best decision or the best idea.
Yeah.
She had good intentions. And so, yeah, I don't know. It's a really good character. I want more of her.
Very much so. I do too.
Well done. Well, okay. So, and keeping on theme, this is again the exact opposite of this character.
Okay.
We're on number 2 already. This is crazy.
Yes.
Okay.
I know,
so
we're not even 20 minutes in.
I know. What a short episode we're going to have. So I cheated again a little bit, as I want to do, but I'll tease one specific character out of this group of characters, and I'm talking about every female character in Black Panther is my number 2. Basically.
You know what, though? I will give it to you 1,000%.
Thank you
I hate
so
that
much.
wasn't on my radar either.
But specifically, I would tease out Lupita Nyong'o, and her character it's so good. She's so wonderful in this movie. She's basically like, I don't mean to compare it to her, but she's sort of the superhero version of like Princess Diana, where she's like of the people and she wants to be in the community. But she's also like deeply loyal to her people and her government, but she's not afraid to fight for what she thinks is right. She's just such a wonderful, wonderful character. And Lupita Nyong'o can do no wrong.
Listen, she is, I say this, she is my favorite modern day actress.
She's wonderful.
She's and just like so flawless to look at. Like she's so Yeah, I mean, she is my
does voiceovers
favorite.
for so many things that you have no idea that it was her. I'm like,
No.
that was Lupita Nyong'o? What are you talking about?
No, I can, yeah, absolutely. I love Lupita.
She has my vote for the new voice of Spaceship Earth, 100%.
Why would it not be her? How have we've never said this before, I don't think.
Maybe it's been brought up. I don't know. But anyways, my whole point stands of like every female in Black Panther, though. I mean, serving,
completely.
Working.
No.
Arguably, I almost didn't put them on there because I was like, maybe they are kind of the main character of Black Panther, all of the women in Black Panther, because they're just so powerful and really lead.
Well, I think it's fair because I mean they're not necessarily what do we say? Not necessarily the main antagonist and not necessarily the main protagonist, right?
For sure,
but
absolutely,
I will say that those movies are very female power driven. You know what I mean? And so
yeah. I mean, and I did specifically say Black Panther because Black Panther 2, I would argue that all of the women are the main character in Black Panther 2. I would say
yes, absolutely.
But yeah, I could watch that movie every single day of the year and not get bored with it. It's just
I will say
good.
Black Panther is probably the one like Marvel film that I could never get bored of.
It's so wonderful.
It is incredible.
All right. We come to number 1 already.
Yes.
I have a feeling this might be where we cross over, but let's find out. I don't know.
All right.
Okay.
So my number 1 is our sister suffragette, Winifred Banks.
Mine too.
Is it?
Yes.
That's hysterical.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I felt like in my heart of hearts, I was like, of course she is the best non-leading lady in a Disney movie.
Yes. I mean, and think about it. That was sort of, I mean, like nowadays we would be like work, but when that movie came out, that had to be a sort of scene that was probably a little bit controversial. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, women had only been given, but the Voting Rights Act for if I can't remember when it was the first, not the first one, the whole reason the suffragettes were around was in the 20s, right? It was when women finally got the ability to vote bestowed upon them by the idiot men of many countries. But yeah, so I mean, it wasn't. Women hadn't been voting for that long.
No,
and weren't portrayed in movies very often as feminists. Really,
no, very much so. Yeah,
and oddly, it took a movie like Mary Poppins to really show this strong feminist character.
No, and I have to say, like, I know that there's probably an argument to be had on both sides, right? Because as soon as Mr. Banks comes home, they sort of get rid of the sashes, and it's like, hi, you know how he hates the cloth. But part of me thinks that's even more fierce. The fact that she was like, if he doesn't want me to do this, I'm gonna do it anyway, behind his friggin' back.
100%.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it somehow is more fierce than if she was just like. Chuck it, George. I'm going to the, but it's amazing.
I would agree with that. I mean, I feel like it shows that you can be many different things at the same time. Like, being a feminist doesn't mean that you can't still love your husband and that you can't still be a wonderful mother. Although I would argue, is she a wonderful mother? Like, she dumps those kids off so quickly to anyone who's around.
But
she gave them to a chimney sweep.
But let me tell you something. if the kids, if the reason the kids need a babysitter is because she is out fighting for the right to vote,
100%.
Then put those kids. I don't care. I mean,
get rid of them.
The Darlings, their kids are watched by a dog. Just down the street in London. So that's probably, she was like, at least we're not the Darlings, dear, But
Nanny is a dog.
Yes.
Oh my God, that is so funny. You're not wrong. You're not wrong on that.
But
I was thinking about
Winifred Banks works.
Very much so. I was thinking about this too. It's not necessarily a direct correlation, but when Mary Poppins came out, and her character being a feminist and fighting for the rights for people to vote was in 1964, and then the very next year was the 1965 Voting Rights Act, which gave Black people the right to vote.
Yeah,
finally,
absolutely.
Was it a perfect amendment? Not so much. We can talk about that later. But it tried. But so I have to believe that there was some interesting political climate happening when they were talking about this character and what she was going to do. And obviously, Mary Poppins famously has 0 people of color in it, I believe. And so that was a big problem.
Yes.
I was so glad that they had this strong feminist character in it fighting for voting rights, which was
absolutely
a really hot item at that time. Interesting. And
I love that was our
of course it
one
was.
crossover was number one.
Of course it was. And of course, I mean, the Sister Suffragette song is so good.
It's amazing.
The line where though we adore men individually, we agree that as a group, they're rather stupid.
Yeah.
It's such a funny line. I want to have been a fly on the wall when they were writing the song of can we say this? Can we do this?
Right.
Are people going to be offended by this?
That's the thing, is it really does seem like it was very ahead of its time.
Mm-hmm.
And then if I'm not mistaken, P.L. Travers, who wrote the Mary Poppins books, was actually she was very conservative by nature, albeit being a lesbian later in life. But she famously did not want the character of Mrs. Banks to be a suffragette.
Yeah, she didn't want a lot of things, and
she did not. But that's super interesting to me. That she sort of I famously, I believe she sort of thought that type of character would be obnoxious in a story, and it turned out she was wrong.
Right. I wonder how much pull Glynis Johns had in creating that character as well, because she was a remarkable woman as well.
And can we just talk about Glynis Johns for a second? My goodness gracious. I mean, what a force,
She's incredible.
Amazing.
We did
I
it.
cannot believe you and I got through a main segment in less than a half hour. That's never
true.
happened before.
With only one crossover
ever.
too, which was
yes.
So any also rans from you, and we talked about it last night of hey, wouldn't it be fun if we got the boys involved, and did they think of anybody as well that didn't make the lists?
I did not ask them.
Great. Wonderful.
But I did not. But I did have a couple honorable mentions. Do we want to go through them?
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know why this one's always sort of like stood out to me as a strong female character, but it was Stacy from a Goofy movie, who is the class president.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but that one. And then also Perla from Cinderella, which is the main female mouse. I had to actually figure out what her name was. I was not aware that her name was Perla, but I just sort of the fact that even though she's sewing, which sort of could be considered a misogynistic role or job, she clearly is bossing the other male mice around, right?
Yeah.
Leave this to the women. You go get the trimmin'.
Right. It's true.
And so, yeah. So she was an honorable mention. And then I had one more that I didn't write down that I was thinking about, but give me yours, and then maybe it will trigger something.
Oh, sure. Mama Odie, for sure, was one of them. Jennifer Lewis.
Yes.
I mean, come on. Absolutely.
My gosh.
Yeah. Incredible. And my Canada boy, so I was talking to the Canadian Tweedles, Nick and Dave, and my friend Justin as well. We have a little thread going. And I can't remember who it was brought it up. Pepper Potts from Iron Man.
Oh, yes. Yes.
What a great character.
An
and
amazing
then, of course,
character.
Moana's grandmother as well is such a good character.
Yes. Also a very, very good one.
Yeah. So many wonderful sidekick female characters that are bad A's.
Yes, completely. I feel like you and I did very well with this one.
There's so many to choose from that it's hard to find. There's not
absolutely.
a character that you're like, meh, I wouldn't have, agreed with that. They're all great. They're all great.
Because there was Stacy was definitely, and it's funny when we do these too, because I feel like I know you well enough now too, because I also was willing to bet that our one crossover was Winifred Banks. Just because we both love Glynis Johns, we've talked about her on the pod a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
But like sometimes I'd be like, oh, I bet that Patrick has this one. And with the Tremaine sisters, I don't think I thought that you had that one, but I was like, for some reason they don't belong on this list, and that might have been why, subconsciously. But there were a couple. There was a lot that I was like, okay, on the list, off the list, and then
yeah. We could do this same episode 3 or 4 more times.
Oh, we absolutely
come up with
could.
Amazing characters. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Speaking of Tweedles at home, let us know who your favorite non-leading female characters are in Disney canon. We want to know. There's so many to choose from. List them off for us. Who did we forget? Do you disagree with anybody on our list? If so, you're wrong, etc.
Yep. Because it's our show, darn it.
Our show. But you can do so by tapping into our Donna Murphy's at
Yes.
GDTD podcast, or reach out to us via email.
Listen, it's called our Donna Murphy's from here on out. It's my one executive rule I'm making for the podcast going forward.
or email
dive
us
into
at
our Donna Murphy's
at case2thed.com. Leave us a voice memo or just an email. Oh, Donna Murphy's. It's never not going to be funny to me.
in trouble, I will always help her out.
Oh, dear. Hey, Sister Suffragette.
Hey, you didn't. I wasn't prepared. I don't have anything. Hey, Mama Boots the house down.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. What a fun episode this has been.
It has been a fun episode.
I know, that's why I said it. Are you ready, Kale, for some quick
patty
D?
cake? Patty cake. Yes.
Patty cake. What a stupid joke. That is the dumbest joke in the whole world.
But it makes me super uncomfortable, but also I can't help but laugh at it.
Yeah, it's super inappropriate for sure. Super inappropriate. All right, we have some quick D contributions from our tweeters at home. Are you ready for... I'm just going to do one because I feel like this could be a drawn-out question. Are you ready for it?
Okay, yes. And I draw them all out.
We sure do. Yeah, absolutely.
I've never had a quick D.
Oh, wow. This is from at run.dive.jwr asking the Fab Five, so Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Pluto, Goofy,
yes,
are going to corporate America. What are their ideal jobs each?
Okay.
Let's go down the list.
Yeah, let's start with Mickey.
Mickey Mouse is what's Mickey's corporate America job?
I'm gonna say he is a judge.
Judge
Mickey Mouse is a judge. Yes.
Okay. Judge Mickey Mouse. I could see him. I can see him climbing the corporate, like starting as a clerk and then becoming a lawyer. I would watch that TV show.
Order.
Judge Mickey. Absolutely. Okay. Mickey Mouse is a judge. Okay. So Minnie Mouse is
fashion designer.
I feel like we're putting people in gendered.
Oh, we are. Okay. Never mind. Never mind.
She
also
does serve
a judge.
looks, though.
She's also a judge. Yeah.
Also a doctor. She's a doctor. She's a lawyer.
Right, she's a doctor. Ooh, Minnie would absolutely be a doctor. Or do you know what else? An airplane pilot.
Captain Minnie.
Captain Minnie.
I like this job. Okay.
I actually
Judge Mickey and Captain Minnie.
Okay. All right. Okay. Donald
Duck. Donald Duck is in like sales, I feel like.
He's absolutely in sales.
But no one can understand him, and so he's not great at his job, but he's in sales.
And we also don't know what he's selling, but for some reason we buy it.
Propaganda.
Right?
He's selling propaganda.
Yeah, propaganda. That's it. He's one of those what do you call them? Like a lobbyist. He's a political lobbyist, but by the time he's left, you don't know what you've signed up for. You don't know which side.
Yeah, wait, what did I just sign myself up for? Donald, yeah. The old switcheroo.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay, Goofy.
Goofy. What does Goofy do?
Goofy is an inventor.
An inventor.
Yes.
I was going to say a cult leader, maybe. Goofy.
Goofy is a cult follower. I don't see. I could
it's
see
always
Donald
the ones
being
that you
the
don't
cult
see
leader.
being a
well,
cult
you know
leader
what? You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Okay, I will say let's. Okay, Goofy's a cult leader.
Okay, we're going with cult leader which is definitely a corporate America job. And who do we have? We have Pluto. What is Pluto doing?
Pluto is president of the United States.
I was literally just going to say Pluto is president. That's so funny.
Oh, were you?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Our last one crossover yet again. But
A Fab Five crossover. Pluto for president.
I love it.
Someone draw those now. Someone draw all these jobs.
Please
and
draw
send them to us. We want to.
Also, just because I hate when she's left out, what about Daisy?
I
Daisy's
know.
corporate job is what?
Daisy's corporate job is. I feel like Daisy is like a madam of somebody.
Oh, she's
only ducks or something.
Just
like
a
she's
little bitty piss and country place.
the best little
Nothing
duck house
much
in
to
Texas.
see. Yes, the best little duck pond in Texas. Absolutely, it's a Daisy. That will do it for this episode of Gays Do the D. Thanks for listening. To become a patron of the podcast, visit our website at gaysdothed.com/donate. For a donation of any amount, you can receive exclusive Gays Do the D content and help us continue to bring you the very best Disney news and discussions. Continue the conversation after this episode on Instagram and Twitter at GDTD Podcast. Submit your questions or show ideas to info@gaysdothed.com. Have a great week, everybody. See you real soon.
Like only ducks